Hello and welcome to this New Year's
2024
first episode of Chaile Time in 2024. Hope you had a great year last year and then you are refreshed for the new year. Toby, welcome.
Thank you, Chepo. So how was your time?
Resting.
You had some time off?
Yes. Near Daram, I have a good boss, eh? I have a good boss.
Yeah.
Did you rest? Because I realized that you only close
Bosses never rest.
later.
Even if you're not busy, you're always stressing here. You see, you're worrying about, is the customers paying? You're worrying, are you having customers next year? You know, it's most different. You know, when you're an employee and employer, the seat is most different.
Yeah.
You see, there's no basic conditions for people like myself. There's no, 21 days leave.
21 days leave and
Yeah.
one day leave every month, 1 day off every month.
Now you guys, my staff get one paid Friday a month, one paid long weekend a month. How does that sound?
Your staff.
Okay, it doesn't really apply to me and you. I'm talking about the support staff. All those people sitting there looking at me with sparkles in the eyes.
I do take a random Monday once in a while if we are not busy. Yeah? But yeah, it's nice. Yeah, no, well rested. I hope you rested also.
Yeah, it's okay.
I hope the forecast for 2024 is looking good.
I think so. Yeah, just from my Effectus harmony perspective, we've been growing year on year, so that is good. We have a sort of a national footprint already. We're not this big player like the labor nets and those guys, but I love taking labor net clients away. Whenever I hear, we've been with labor net, we're with you now, I'm like, oh, that's like man out of heaven. Labor net, we love you guys.
We love them. We love them because, you know, sometimes when I do.
And let me just say, LabourNet is much further developed than we are, so you can't go wrong with LabourNet. So let me just give some free marketing space there. I mean, the amount of service they can offer you is obviously much more than us.
Yeah, once in a while I do interpretation. You know, almost my language thing. I do interpretation.
Yeah, for some of their clients.
For some of their clients, and
we don't approach their clients deliberately.
I work with them a lot. So yeah. Anyway, what are we talking about in the new year?
We're starting this year off with retrenchments. Okay, so you see, the thing is this: a lot of companies had nice bonuses. Now they broke, and now they're going to start retrenching staff.
Hey.
Isn't that true?
From hero to zero.
You know, there's always this joke in this industry. The reason why December we are so busy is because the companies know they must pay bonuses, but they don't have money. So they start firing the staff to make money available to pay bonuses. Come January, they must retrench anyway because now they're broke anyway. So they must retrench in December, or dismiss in December, and they must retrench in January. So, but anyway, so no, that was just a bit more on the lighter tone. So the thing is this. When it comes to a Section 189 process, you know, the whole point of the process is to try to find alternatives to a dismissal. There are some other purposes also, try to mitigate the adverse effects of it or change the timing of the dismissal. But I want to focus on an alternative to dismissal. And this is the thing, Zep. I've been involved in retrenchments for many years now, a lot. And actually, thumbs up. Most of the times, employees actually don't engage in the process in terms of coming up with alternatives. They don't actually consult back.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to help an employee if you get quiet.
Yeah, there is this thing of, now they are retrenching, which means it's the end of the road. But they don't come with remedies, and they are given an opportunity actually. But they don't, because I've done this case at Engineering Bargaining Council.
Yeah?
Yeah, whereby also I raised the jurisdiction. Jurisdiction, you know, that head, I respect it. I raised the jurisdiction, and then you'll find out some of them, they say, yeah, but we will never give. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not going to argue too much into what happened. You don't have jurisdiction. It must go to the labor court.
Yeah. So, yeah, Section 189, just from an academic perspective, subsection 2. One of the purposes of the Section 189 process is to avoid the dismissal. So what I want to talk about today is that, first of all, it's important as an employee that you actually try to find measures. But the problem is that employees don't always know what options are available, what to propose on. And I want to focus specifically on, have you ever considered, especially if you're a skilled person, have you ever considered proposing to your employer to become an independent contractor? So let's talk about independent contractor agreements today and what it is. Now,
Can I ask a question?
yes.
Can I become an independent contractor? I'm kidding. You can continue.
As I said, today we're talking about.
I'm joking.
Listen, we don't have to retrench. So I'm talking about independent contractor agreements today, Tsepo. Have you ever considered, if you're a skilled person, get back in your cage now, man. You've put me off my rhythm now, yeah.
Sorry.
Are you planning to go somewhere?
No, I'm joking. It's a joke. And I got you there for a moment. Look at your face.
We're talking about independent contract agreement. If you're a skilled person, as an alternative to a dismissal. Now, independent contractor, you're almost like a service provider. So from a juristic person or from a collective bargaining perspective, you and the employer are on the same level. So just to explain, in essence, the main difference, okay, and I don't want to go into the contentious issues of, is somebody now an independent contractor or an employee? You know, that's not what this is about, okay? But just in essence, in an employment relationship, there's what we call a master-servant relationship. Oh, there's the boss and there's the slave. He's not really slave, he's more like symbolic, okay? The master and the slave. So the master will tell the person, you start at 8. So when you are an employee and you go for a job interview and you get the job, the boss is not going to ask you what time do you want to start. It's going to tell you start at 8 o'clock and you have lunch at 1 and you finish at 4 or 5, whatever the case may be. But in an independent contract agreement, because you are on the same footing from a collective bargaining perspective, the difference is this. You are not there to provide a service, you're there to provide a task. Okay, so in that kind of relationship, your client now, which is now the employer company, if I can put it that way, he doesn't tell you start at 8. He asks you, what time do you think you should start? I would like you to start at 8. What do you say? No, I'm still sleeping then, so let's start at 9. No, but then the other party will say, no, but 9 is too late. Can we not perhaps do it 8:30? Yeah, that's fine. We shake hands. You see, that's collective bargaining, you see. So, and then if there are ever a dispute, the test that apply is the dominant impression test. Holistically looking, is this a master and servant relationship or not? Or is this an independent contractor agreement whereby you have the freedom to collectively bargain? The basic condition of Employment Act, labor legislation does not apply to you really, okay? So you also almost become like your own business. You're also then open to go and find alternative sources of income. Like for instance, I am a independent contractor to one of the large legal insurance companies in South Africa, okay? I'm not an employee. In a way, we're directly competing with them.
Yeah,
because we fish in the same market, you see.
Because at some point when you get to the council and you'll find that the complainant, the applicant will say, yeah, but I want my representative to come and represent me. And you'll find that the representative coming actually comes from that, from that company.
Yeah, so now, let me tell you a quick story. Before I tell you the story, if you're a skilled person, what if you propose to the company to become an independent contractor and no longer an employee? If you're an asshole, don't recommend this. Because if you're an independent contractor, sorry for my language, but if you're an independent contractor, labor laws don't apply to you. Okay, so there's no dismissals really, or unfair dismissals. There's no CCMA. That's a civil agreement then, okay, in terms of a service level agreement or independent contract agreement, whatever it may be. And then the employer can simply terminate you based on the agreed provisions inside the contract. And normally they will say, for instance, we'll give you 2 weeks notice or a month written notice. So if you're an independent contractor, they can simply send you a WhatsApp saying, listen, end of the month, we don't want to see you anymore. There's no CCMA. So you're not protected under labor legislation if you are an independent contractor. So, but if you are a skilled employee, you've got a fantastic relationship with the company, it may be a viable alternative to dismissal. Why? Because first of all, that company is going to pay you a retainer, which is much less probably than a salary. So it's a win-win situation and will give you the freedom to actually start your own business. Okay. Multiple sources of income. So if you've ever looked for opportunity to have some kind of support, but wanting to go venture and do your own thing, fantastic solution. Let me tell you a story. I consulted very recently a woman. She's a teacher. Okay. And she earns, her salary is about 100,000 rand a month. I'm not, yeah. Anyway, it's a lot. Eh? She's a teacher. Okay. Don't try to, I'm not going to tell you the kind of teacher she is. Don't think it's your local primary school teacher. It's not. Okay, don't go toy now about all the high salaries. Anyway, so, but she earns more than the dean of the school. So they have calculated, they're struggling with profitability on an annual basis, and they only have enough funds to support the school for the next 10 years. So they need to start to look at realigning and restructuring packages. Now she earns more than the dean, so they've approached her to alter the way she earns per student, okay? So there will be a bit of a drop in salary. It's probably from about 100,000 Rand a month to 70 or 80,000 Rand a month. And she cannot do this because she's got bills to pay. So I asked her, how many bills do you have? I mean, my goodness, flip. Anyway, so we just start laughing. But anyway, she's a great person, a great teacher, and she's got she works 7 days a week and she's fully packed. People want her to be their teacher. And even after hours, and this is actually part of where the problem comes in, because she works a lot of hours after hours on higher rates. So then she asked me, but listen, what do I think of the idea if she approaches school, for her to teach after hours at home in a private capacity? So I told her, look, why don't you consider becoming an independent contractor? It will really be a financial solution for the company, but it will also allow you the freedom to start your own business on the side. She said no. And the reason being is, when you're an employee, it is nice, the security of a monthly salary. Now that you must venture out on your own, or partly venturing out on your own, it's like this big question mark. There's a lot of insecurity, because if you're an employer, if you're a company, life is not so secure. But if you think about this, it is a viable option, especially with a lot of us, South Africans, we feel entrepreneurial inside of us. And from a South African macroeconomic perspective, we need to start boosting entrepreneurship. And becoming an independent contractor may be a solution. If your company is struggling and want to retrench people, become an independent contractor. Take that pay cut, but then start doing your own thing.
Yeah, but now
it can work.
There is this behind the scene when you are a business owner or a company or something, of which some people sitting on the other side, they don't understand the matrix. I'll call it the matrix, because that movie, The Matrix, there's always those green lines on the computer that you have to understand. And so the matrix behind you being the business owner and then waking up at 3 a.m. in the morning, but as an employee, you only wake up at 6 and be like, let me nap for another 30 minutes. But as a business owner, you wake up at 3. I remember one of my old bosses, he will get in the cinema there at 5:30 in the morning, start checking all the storerooms and what. That's some of the things that I've noticed. I'm like, but why is this guy doing this? But at a later stage, I realized why. Because he's the business owner. He has to make sure that everything is according to how the business must be.
Yeah, you see, that's important you say, So if you do want to venture out on your own, the seat you sit on when you're an employee is a bit different than the seat you sit on as an employer. So I've got a friend, he's also specializing in labor law, and he's working for a company who also wants to start his own business. We actually had a coffee recently, because he feels, but listen, he's good in marketing, he's getting all these customers. Why must I make my employer rich if I can do it for myself? So I explained to him all the different departments in a business. There's a book, an e-book I have. It's actually called E-Myth Revisited. E-Myth Revisited, which actually explains that the reason why most small businesses fail is because it's been birthed out of greed. You sit there, you're the plumber. Oh, I can do what my boss do. Oh, I can be like my boss. No, you're not your boss. You're not. And that's what you're talking about.
Yes.
You see, when I spoke to him, my friend now, I said, yeah, you get all these customers, but do you know that a third of your customers don't pay, the ones you get in? Another third, they pay always, but only 3 months late. So every 3 months they will pay. After you have phoned them 20 times, cried, threatened them, you're going to sue them, then they pay. And then the others, they do pay faithfully every month, but only after payroll. Yeah. So you must pay your staff first.
Yeah. But you're only getting payment on the 7th.
Yeah, so that's why. And you see, this is the thing. You can have a business now that does 20,000 Rand a month. Or you can have a business that does 20 billion Rand a month. You're the same because nobody's got money. Because, and I'm talking about cash flow here now. Yeah. If your customers pays you after, you must pay others. Whether you've got a 20 billion Rand business or a 20,000 Rand business, you don't have money. So, once I'm done, he said to me, you know what, I don't think I can be a business owner because now I have to phone, not just consult and do hearings and CCMA cases and whatever. I actually have to phone customers and ask them and, fight with them when you're paying and all these kind of things, So when you're a business owner, there are many different departments. There are the marketing department, and then there are you having to phone your clients asking for payments. Then there's a logistic department, and then there are you having to phone clients for payments. Then there are the accounts department, and then there are you having to phone your clients for payments. Then there's a tea making department, and then there's the you having to phone your clients for payments.
Yeah.
You see, and then there's what departments are there more? There's the customer service departments, and then are you having to phone your clients for payments. You're not your boss. You get my point.
Yeah. And you will have 15 potential clients promising to sign with you that, we love your product, we love we love your services and everything. But before they could sign on the dotted line, you'll only have 1 out of the 15 signing. And then you'll still do a follow-up. And then now you have to be patient. You have to have a strategic plan.
You know what the other 14 do? They phone you for free advice.
Yes, every time.
Woo! Free advice, free advice.
Exactly.
Hi, Toby, can you just quickly advise me on this? I'm like, yeah, if you pay.
I'm in a situation now. I have this employee. What do I do?
Ach, jette.
You see?
Yeah, but anyway, so, but yeah.
But that's not my point of demoralizing someone who wants to become an independent.
It's important for you to know what the game is about. And we need more entrepreneurs. But don't think you're going to start your own business and not be aware and equipped. Be open-minded, know what's coming, and do embrace it. But the context of this discussion today is sometimes when it looks hopeless, your company is restructuring, retrenching you, have you considered that maybe the company actually do need your skill? What they mostly do need is a financial solution. And the independent contractor arrangement can just provide you with the cushion that you need to explore your own thing. That business idea, opportunity you've always dreamt of, this kind of arrangement can give you that.
100. And forget about the relaxation of when you were an employee, Always be on your toes, give your A game so that they can also recommend you to other people. Because it's very important that, some people when they see things like, no, I have this company that I'm using and they are very good. Someone can ask, what's their contact, who's the contact person there? Who can I talk to? Boom. Just from having that conversation, now you have another client. Then you have it's like where you're plumber. No, I had this plumbing company coming to my house the other day. They did a marvelous job. No, I have a leaking pipe at the back of my house. Give me their number. Now it's a recommendation because you gave your A game. But remember, mostly when you are employed, you are relaxing. And then now tomorrow you wake up and you want to become an independent contractor, but you still have that relaxation mode in yourself. You have to reconsider it.
Listen, Seppo, I left a The other day in the offices, I spoke to the support office staff. You know, and I would like to know your opinion, your feeling, how you feel I want to start paying people on the 5th of each month. Yeah, the cash flow thing, you know, my customers pay, as on the 1st, customers start
I don't know how
paying,
did you get there.
but then the previous week, I need to pay salaries. So I never have money to pay salaries. I lie, we do have money to pay salaries, but it would be nice if I can pay salaries after my customers paid. So I want to pay salaries on the 5th of each month.
It's not viable.
Ek kry vir jou terug, jy blikkel.
It's not viable.
Anyway, that's all for time this week.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and Happy New Year. Hope everyone you prosper, you conquer, you venture to all your plans for the new year.
All the best for this year.